November 0 Echo Tango, contact Charlotte 128.32, good day.
Test 2-4, Greensboro Airport, 12 o'clock, 12 miles.
The turn right heading 160.
Heading 160 for Positive Papa Delta.
2-4, cleared visual approach, runway 23 right, maintain 170 national final approach fix.
Cleared visual approach, runway 23 right, 174. Cleared 1 Mike, approaching WI
November 1 Mike, contact Washington Center, 124.05, thank you.
124.05.
Honda Test 2-4, crash turbulence following a Boeing 757, 6 miles ahead. Contact tower.
Contact tower, Honda Test 2-4.
Contact Atlanta 128.8, have a good day.
128.8 for Positive Papa Delta, good day.
Experimental 488 Zulu Charlie, Greensboro, altimeter 29908, maintain VFR. November 829 Delta Sierra, contact approach on 124.35.
124.35, 29 Delta Sierra. Approach 829 Delta Sierra 8000.
November 829 Delta Sierra, Greensboro Approach, Greensboro, altimeter 29908.
29908. 29 Delta Sierra.
Right 59er, turn left heading 320, once you're in the turn Greensboro Airport, that's 9 o'clock and 12 miles.
Let's stay near 100 compass level countdown.
Jet right 59er, turn left heading at 290. November 5 Charlie Kilo across Pontiac and maintain 6000. Jet right 59er, Greensboro.
Yeah, 290059, sorry.
Jet right 59er, turn left heading 270.
Alright, 270 on the extra.
Jet right 59er, once you're in the turn
All right.
Greensboro Airport,
It's time to get to it, guys.
11 o'clock and 12 miles.
Got some scenery design into dudes. Not a whole lot of interesting stuff, probably. But if you're into this sort of thing, then we're definitely going to have a good time here. So, if you're a first-time watcher, great to have you here. Snare 17 stream. Going to be doing some Microsoft Flight Simulator scenery design today at KGSO, the Greensboro's Piedmont Triad International Airport. And we're going to be specifically looking at taxiway aprons today and taxiway lights. Still got a lot of taxiway to lay down. We'll look at kind of the progress that I've made so far and where we're at, where we're going, and got a couple things to do here. Got one visitor behind us here. And hoping to throw some taxiway lights down as well. So we'll do more work with the lighting row object here in the Microsoft Flight Simulator SDK, the dev mode scenery editor. We'll do that, and I also have some updating to do on the runway lights too, as we found out at work this week that there's a few more features than I thought there were on our runway lights, at least for the one runway. So we'll be adding some things in for that as well. That's it. Let's jump right into it here. We've got our project open already. Got loaded into the scenery editor, the BGL. So let's go down in and see what we've been doing here. So let's see. I'm going to go back into the scenery editor mode here so you can see kind of all the surfaces and whatnot that I've been working on. So we've already got this. This is old news here. We've got the whole Northwest complex. Avman223, welcome to the stream, my man. Good to see you. I'm doing pretty well today. Just looking to spend a little bit on some airport editing. If I don't put a little bit of time in here and there, it's never going to get done. So there's a lot of work to do. So we got this whole runway and the taxiway next to it. We've got the aprons down, the surfaces in, and we've got lighting done as well. Well, the edge lighting, I should say, taxiway edge and runway edge. It's done a little bit of work. You can see the yellow line down the middle here. Well, I started a little bit of work on centerline lights, which I think I might have to completely redo. So I've got the default ones turned off, so you can't see them there anymore, but you do see the little ones that I've added in manually, which I might have to completely redo. But it's just going to get a little more complicated than I thought. And the edge lights are the ones that I'm going to have to work on, because I realized that our runway does, in fact, have unidirectional lights at the end where it's red. Not centerline lights, I guess. Where they turn yellow in one direction when you're getting towards the last 1,000 feet. Or last 2,000 feet. So that's kind of annoying. Also did I didn't do this, I don't think I did this on stream at all. I did terraforming project, a runway profile project, which is another thing you can do, obviously, with your runways. One of the properties they have is they have what's called a profile. So if I go into scenery editor mode here, I go inside the airport, go to runways, 5 left, 2, 3 right, and I click on the runway. The properties over here, you're going to see there's configuration. Right, we got all that stuff here. But what is it? Materials? Is that what it was? Ground merging. Oh, we didn't want any of that. Coloration. Blobbity blobbity. Did all that already. Terraforming, that's what I wanted. So you click on the terraforming tab and you can do a profile. Add a runway profile. So when I click on it, you can see all these little orange lines that are in there. So these are each markers for different spots on this profile. Now I go to profile editor, you see all of these marks I did in here to try to exactly copy the real world runway slope of this runway. And it's obvious this is a little more extreme. It doesn't really follow that steep of a line, but extrapolate this over many feet, and this is a difference of 278 meters down to a 259-ish meters. It's like 80, it's like, what is it, 80 feet difference? 60, something like that. So there's a whole lot of slope to this runway. So I defined every single one of these points. Now, every one of these points, I had to do some calculator work. I had a little extra browser window over here to convert feet to meters, because I was using Google Earth Pro to get kind of measurements for each spot on the runway. Now, every single one of these little red dots is separated by 1 foot. So every time the elevation on the runway changed 1 foot, I measured from the 5 left end to that spot. I basically, on the Google Earth thing, just dragged my mouse until the altitude changed, and I went right down the center line until the altitude changed 1 foot. When it changed 1 foot, I put a mark there for like a measuring tool, and said, okay, this is how far from the runway end this point goes, which is how you do fill in all these points here on the profile. And then it measured everything in, no, I guess it did feet in that. I was able to set it to feet. So feet are obviously a smaller unit of measurement than meters, and it only does it in whole feet that it showed me. So every whole foot I changed the elevation. So got a nice slope to this runway. And close that off, and we can back out here. Remember, every one of those little orange lines is 1 foot of difference. So you can see in the middle of the runway, they start to get much closer together. As you get down towards the end of the runway, they get much bigger. It's very flat here at the end, so you can see it gets very flat, very big sections. Really, really a lot of separation in between these sections here at the end. And then at the middle here section, it's very steep and kind of just falls off. So this is what we end up getting. I've got the camera kind of balanced. I want to get down right on the tower so you can kind of see what we see. A little bit more. Alright, now you can't see anything because of all the outlines and nodes and everything, so I'm going to put it in inspector mode. So let's go up a little bit more here. So you can see that it kind of starts down early on. Downward slope a little bit, and then as it gets to the middle, it's very down. That's a good slope right there, left to right. And then it flattens out towards the end. It actually looks like it goes up a little bit again at the end. And so there's a nice trough right in there. So that is what we got. It's a very slopey runway, and it more accurately follows the real world slope of this runway now. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm gonna do the same kind of technique. Sapphire, good to see you, buddy. I'm going to use the same technique on this taxiway. I'm going to do it on all three of the runways, actually. But this taxiway needs the attention right here, because look at this. Look at this slope, the slopiness. There's no way I can leave that in the game. Now, default, it doesn't do this. I don't know why it's gone and done this, but I think... I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. I think putting in runways automatically adds some flatten to the whole thing, so I'm hoping that adding the profile of the runway like I did... See, that goes way uphill. Adding the profile to it, so there's altitude information with different sections of the runway. I'm hoping that that kind of undoes the weird flatten that went on when you put these things in.
Who was that calling up for IFR?
Turn 124.05.
Look at this end of the runway. You can see, wow, that goes downhill. So there's all that. So I have to do the same with these runways. This one right here, this intersecting runway, actually has a pretty decent slope to it. From this side to that side goes uphill, so that's the higher end down there, which makes for a really interesting kind of an altitude difference. And it looks flat as a pancake right here. If you go from the runway end to the taxiway here, it looks just flat, right? Well, it's actually quite a bit of a downhill. This taxiway here is much lower than the runway is. Not much lower, but it's definitely lower, and there's a different contour to the from the taxiway to the runway. So we're going to get a whole lot of mixed up things here, where I'm going to have different profiles, different objects doing terraforming all over this airport, because this side of the airport especially is there's a lot of variation in altitudes. And so to get the real characteristic of this airport, we need to have those things. So it can't just all be flat. This taxiway is not flat by any means. It starts high, it goes low, it's a downhill, which, of course, it only makes sense that this taxiway does the same thing. It's a little on the flat side right now. There's a little downhill there, but it is a long, gradual climb up to kind of right about here-ish. It's a nice descent in there. So I've got to try to figure out how I'm going to do all that. I don't know. So anyway, let's go back to the progress we've made. I've got all of Taxiway Echo here, which is the slopey one. And now, let's see, last week you saw me put in the terminal ramp, I think. Terminal ramp, this big concrete, poured concrete element here, which I am very proud of, because I got all these squares lined up in the right spot pretty much perfectly. Squares were not easy. And so that's all trimmed up. You see I got all the rounds done with that, and now let's see, I got this part of Taxiway Echo that was added, and so the last part I did, which is done now, is this taxiway here, the long part of Kilo, all the way down to here. That's all done, and then I did all the connectors except for this one. We're going to work on this one, except for all of these. So that's some work we're going to do today. We got Kilo 6 is in there. I'm going to save all of this for kind of one big operation here. I want to get to the FedEx ramp. Kilo 6, Kilo 5, Kilo 3, and I've laid the first piece down. This is actually going to be another poured concrete piece here. You can kind of see it underlying there. And there will be back to the macadam. That's, I think, what I'm using for this. Yeah, property. So anyway, we go into inspector mode, and it all looks pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with how it's going so far. You can barely tell that these things are the pavement underneath. That's, and as I like to kind of zoom out and go to sort of more of a bird's eye view and sort of turn individual elements off to see if I can tell much of a difference from far away, and you can't. So that's kind of the point. Is that I wanted to try to make this look as much like the real pavement as I can, within reason. I'm not going to spend my entire life trying to get these things just right, but I've been tweaking the colors of the pavement and everything, the transparency, and so there's good steps, being strides being made. So the goal here, at least, is to get to a usable version of this that I can start using on streams, so that you guys can see me actually kind of moving around and see the progress as I fly in and out of this airport. And to do that, I'm going to need to get the terminal ramp connected to this runway properly. And, well, I mean, it goes out this way, and I can go down Echo, but that hill is a problem, so I've got to get that hill. I don't really tackle major terraforming projects until I have all the pavement down, too. It's another thing. So we're getting close. I can get down from the ramp, I can get down Kilo, I can get to here, and then I can try to... Now I just have to get connected this much, because I've got it all the way to here done on this side to get to this runway. But now I got to get back to here so I can connect. Sorry, to here. So this is not that much. This is only a couple thousand feet. But 3,000 feet maybe. Not even 2,500 feet maybe of taxiway to connect. And then I've already connected to this runway, but I have some editing of this runway to do. I've got to mess with the lights on that one. I haven't done any light work on this. So I'll just default assets. And then, so yeah, anyway, more taxiways to do. So let's get right into it. I've talked enough. Let's try to let's tackle this little piece here. So I use the split tool on this to line all this up. There we go. I want the arrows. Get that down to the ground. Same thing with this. Down to the ground. Let's get this down to the ground. What is this? What is going on? That's something completely different. Undo. That's what I want. Boom. Make sure all these nodes are touching the ground, so they don't move around on me too much. Now this apron here, it's going to let me click on it. There it goes. That one down to the ground too. All right. Okay, so it's very helpful if, when doing this, I don't see the pavement here. So I can select this Taxiway Kilo apron, and I'm messing with the camera a lot. Sorry, guys. And I want to go over here to Properties and untick Draw Surface. So it's going to be completely transparent now. So you'll see the edges and the nodes for editing, but I won't see the actual surface. And that's the easiest way to edit these things, and it's especially easiest when you're going up against a taxiway that you don't necessarily want to be able to touch these. So I'm locking this one also, so I can't select it, I can't move any of those nodes. This one I'll select, also going to untick Draw Surface over here. And that one's gone now too. Okay, so this is the one we're editing. These nodes are exactly in the same, co-located, I guess you could say. They're in the exact same spot. I did that by splitting the taxiway apron here, as I basically just added 2 nodes in between here, pulled them down here, which is what you see right now, and then did a cut between those 2 nodes, and that becomes a whole new object. So that's what I'm working with right now. And I think this is a clockwise one, I think. Anyway, so easiest to do this in top-down mode. So go up to camera, we go top-down camera. I'm kind of right back where our starting spot again, which is not that far. Here we go. And now everything's perfectly top-down. I can't rotate or tilt the camera at all. And then I'm right back to the airplane, so I hit the center button. There we go. Okay, so zooming in. All right, so let's get right to work here. I've got to create a little bit of separation from this object. So I select that node. I'm going to right-click here, add a point. Okay, so we're going to be counterclockwise on this one. I'm kind of looking for how far I can go with this to be kind of straight.
Any adverse ride reports?
Are there any adverse ride reports? That's a good question. Add points. I hate that thing. It should probably take us right into there-ish. I don't know if I like that. That's maybe a little better. Okay. And I don't like to cut off too much of the grass with these things. Oops. Okay, so select that one. Then we make sure you select the last node so that when you hit add point, it gets you right in with a fresh set of ones. Actually, I'm going to remove this one. We don't need that one. There we go. Select that last point so I get my little adjusting little handles right away. If I don't do that, if I just have this like that, I add a point, and it's going to add the point, but I have to click on it to get the handles. So it's much easier if you just get the handles automatically by clicking on the last one. And in this case, you have to go in a certain order. And it's if I go counterclockwise with these. So if I added a node here, it would just give me a dot again. I have to kind of go around in a certain order for it to give me the handles, I've discovered. And just trying to go along this curve as much as I can. I don't want to make them too small. I mean, at some point, all of these nodes that I've put in here are going to add up. It's a ton of nodes. It doesn't, but it's such a simple object. The calculations that the CPU has to do to measure these spots, so quick and easy. Doesn't matter if I have thousands of them or not. It's not like high powered rendering or anything. It's very, very simple. Okay, that's gonna be actually pretty. It's kind of funky. Trying to add the shape to this, but let's go back one here. Oops, see, this is why I like to do it in a certain order. I don't know that I like where most of these are. Yeah, that looks a little more round. I guess it does kind of get kind of flat. It doesn't have to be completely perfect, but the more perfect it is, the better these edges will look in the sim. And you can get a little bit of a border to it. Like if I get a little bit of, you see how it kind of gets dark? There's a dark edge to it. If I can get it right inside of that dark edge, and then when you lay the texture on top of the photo scenery in the sim, you get a little bit of that dark edge to it. It gives it a little bit of a border. And then it really kind of helps give it a little bit of extra dimension with that extra color alongside of it. So you can tell that there's a separation there, and it makes it kind of look almost like a 3D type of object, and it's pretty cool. It doesn't cost anything in terms of rendering or anything, so it's a nice little effect, I think, and it makes it all kind of seamlessly fit together a little bit better. All right, we're at a straight point now, so you can see it goes kind of straight to this point here. I'm just going to try to match that up a little bit better. We'll worry about it being perfect when I get around the corner. But you can see there's some separation here for most of this, so at some point, I guess I got to add another point or two. That should do nicely. That's already looking better. Okay, so I don't like this.
Traffic observed between you and the Twin Lakes Airport. Block VFR, change advisor frequency approved. See ya. Greensboro Departure.
Pull this out. Is that going to work? I'll get away with that.
En route to Blues Lake. 01 Golf.
Yeah, I think so.
November 980 Golf. Greensboro Departure. Radar contact. VFR out to your discretion.
That stays pretty much straight there.
01 Golf.
It does. Okay.
Direct Genie, Charlie Delta, thanks. 0568, are you still deviating to the south, or are you on course to Lynchburg? It's kind of hard to tell with your angle.
24.35.
I add one more intermediate point here because there's a little bit more depth to this bend.
Very good. good. Just let me know whenever you're on course.
Alright, we'll go. 20568.
There we go. Here it looks almost completely straight. Zoom in. I just kind of rough put down these edges yesterday when I threw these in, so it's not going to be exact. Let's try to put that. I like to put them right on the edge of these paint stuff here. Add one more in between. A little bit of curvature. And the next node after this one here is going to be pretty far away. Try to get all the way to the straightness here again.
Street 5239, descend and maintain 3000, Greensboro Airport, off your left wing and 4 miles.
Yeah, there's definitely some slant to this here, so I'm going to have to add one, go back one.
And clear visual approach, runway 23 right.
Nice. That'll work. Okay, now around the curve. Just kind of just dwindles into nothing here.
November 20568, contact Greensboro Approach 126.6. We'll see you.
126.6 for 20568. Greensboro Approach, Skyhawk 20568.
Skyhawk 20568, Greensboro, verify 7500.
Alpha contact Greensboro Approach 126.6. See ya.
Approach for 126.6. Flip on that to Alpha. Approach Skyhawk 459, Juliet Alpha. 8,700 coming to 9,500.
Skyhawk 859, Juliet Alpha, Greensboro, roger.
Poor guy's getting tired and getting grumpy. Don't we all get grumpy when we get tired? Absolutely. Okay, so more lines, more lines. Going backwards here, I know it's kind of screwball, but kind of getting these phases where once I just start doing something a certain way, I just think it's kind of like continue it. All right, this is a hard one to select. Okay, let's go back down to this one. This is starting to tick me off.
November 568.
Okay, so add a point.
Roger that, climb to 9,500,
9 Juliet Alpha, company's climbing to 95 as well. You still have them in sight?
Affirmative, we still have them in sight. 459 Juliet Alpha.
Right.
So at some point I'm going to figure out if... I went pretty high fidelity with some of these curves, especially earlier on. I think I've been trying to use fewer dots, fewer points in them, but see what kind of product, how I like it, and if I want to maybe remove some points from some of the earlier ones. I do worry that just too many dots is going to add up a little bit to the performance of this over time. Especially if somebody wants to download this that doesn't have quite as good a performing of a system as I do. Oh, I guess that's something I need to add to the description of these videos and make sure I get my system's specs and everything in there. Because Twitch made that really easy. Just put it in right below all the stuff, but it was just easily available, but that is not the case with YouTube.
651 Lima Alpha, go ahead.
This is one that I really don't need to do right here. This point. Ugh, I didn't even get to edit it. All right, that one was almost worthless. All right, so there we go. There it is. There's that portion. See how? Whoops, sorry. See how many dots I used. How many dots I've been using. It's about the same, maybe a few more here because it gets kind of intricate.
You said you're a diamond 62?
A lot of dots really close together, especially on these ones. Oh my gosh, I use so many.
Twin Diamond 1 Lima Alpha, Squawk 7203.
That was really too much, and I think where I really got kind of carried away was out. Where's that other runway? Out here with these. There's just a ton of them thrown in very little spots.
Navigation of Burlington.
I guess it's not that bad. This one used a lot.
Correction, November.
Every one of these nodes is a calculation that needs to be made somewhere.
Navigation Burlington, 18 November.
November 8
They're not that. It's not that difficult.
SUT.
Navigation SUT 87 Lingle.
All right, so this one is a now. This, because I pulled it off of the Taxiway Kilo 6, if I go in and say draw the surface, well, it's going to be asphalt kind of colored again. So I got to I'm going to copy the properties from this ramp here, go ahead and paste it on here, and now it looks like
November 1 Lima Alpha radar
concrete.
About
It's sort of a different color, though. It's what it's supposed to look like. So, like, if I turn it off, you're going to say, like, oh, that's not really the right color. It's supposed to be more orange. So I'll go into the coloration part.
800 Greensboro, altimeters 2997, maintain BFR.
I want to kind of warm that up a bit. So this is what you can do. You can go to over here, view, and in scenery editor, go view, go color extractor. Now with the object selected, like I've got, the apron is selected, I'm going to go extract color on selected components. So I'm going to do a quick flash thing, then you turn it up to 100, and it's going to say, okay, this is the color that we think it is. And you look at it, it's like, that is not the color of the underlying surface at all. That doesn't match at all, so we're not using that. Go back to this sort of orangey color. Now I can just sort of disappear it. It's a little too orange. We're getting close.
Cessna 0 Golf, Squawk VFR, and change advisory frequency approved. See ya. Squawk VFR, change advisory frequency approved. See you on the way back. 01 Golf.
No, I don't like that. Alright, so I'm going to turn the draw surface off. Now I'm going to go grab my trusty this trusty piece of concrete that I put down. Alright, so we grab this, and now I'm going to go back to the colorizer, and I'm just going to kind of play with it alongside. Try to find something that matches fairly well. How about that? Alright, so now I will copy the properties here over to here. Paste properties.
November 808.
See what we get when we turn this off.
6 miles, maneuvering altitude indicates 5,500.
Alright, zoom out. And this is where in here you can get rid of these edges. Kilo 2. So
November 8 Whiskey Echo, just waiting on center to take the handoff.
Copy, Whiskey Echo.
just a little bright. So it really kind of pops when it's not turned on. Okay. So let's go back to draw surface. So it actually needs to be a little darker.
Number 722 Sierra Golf, Greensboro. Greensboro Approach, Radio 12 is level 12 or 12,000 with information Bravo. Renia 12, Greensboro Approach, Greensboro altimeter 29097, expect runway 23 right. 2997, expect 23 right for Renia 12. November 722 Sierra Golf, Greensboro.
November 18 Whiskey Echo, contact Washington 124.05.
2405, great day, Whiskey Echo.
I actually like this color. We're going with this one. Alright, so copy properties, paste properties. Here it is.
Station 722 Sierra Golf, Greensboro Approach, Greensboro altimeter 29097, descend and maintain 3000, report the field on site 12 o'clock, 8 miles. Down to 3,000 for 2 Sierra Golf.
Now, for this, I think the...
Renia 12, descend and
I
maintain.
can tell there's some
6,000,
discrepancy in line here.
Vectors for the visual. Okay. Descend and maintain 6,000 and direct headed. Renia 12. Greensboro citation 7 Sierra Golf. We got Shiloh inside. We can cancel. Citation 722 Sierra Golf. Roger.
Okay.
No traffic observed between you and Shiloh.
Now we gotta change the offsets a little bit.
And change size frequencies. Approval. See you. Sierra Golf.
So I'm gonna edit local. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Edit UV.
Greensboro Departure 4182 November. We let it go and cancel.
November 4182 November. Squawk VFR change to 50 frequency approved. There's traffic just west of Burlington westbound out of 1400.
Squawk VFR, thanks for the heads up. Thanks for the hospitality. 4182 November.
There we go. Those lines line up pretty darn well now. All right. That's how you do that, guys. So now I'll unlock this one. Good. Draw the surface again. These ones, I shouldn't have to do a priority one because these should basically overlap exactly. This edge right here is exact on both of them, the same thing. So I shouldn't really need to do a priority. I shouldn't have to mess with that at all. And now let's go over to the developer cam. Go into inspector mode. There we go. 2 different surfaces, 2 different colors, which I'm fine with, because they are 2 different colors. Oh, I like that color too.
November 4349 X-ray, Greensboro. Greensboro Departure 4349 X-ray, 2,400 climbing 3,000, Dread Blue Creek.
The edges that we made here.
Greensboro Departure radar contact via for altitude, your discretion. For altitude, our discretion.
Pretty nice. Do that last one sort of the same way I cut this one out. Same way I cut this one out from here, I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to use these last 2 nodes, put 2 in here, stretch them out to there, and then split it right across. So that cut right there will still be there, and they'll have 2 different apron surfaces that are cut in the exact same spot. I can't meld it to this one at all, unfortunately. So, but it'll be a different surface. It's going to be kind of the same as this, I think. I'm going to put it right back in there. And actually, I will use probably this one because I got the grain going this way as opposed to this way for the taxiway, the long taxiway, and I want to make it go that way for that. That's how we will do that. All right. Cool, so that's what I got this little special little asphalt or little block here for. This is just to test colors. I can get up alongside the taxiways and do it side by side as opposed to having to get right up alongside of it or get right up on top of it. I don't like doing it right on top.
November 1 Lima Alpha, contact Raleigh 125.3.
Back to the top-down camera. Okay, so this is what I was talking about with splitting these objects. So I can select this one, and I'm going to add. Let's see, I'm going to add a point here and a point there. Now I'm going to take these points, stretch them over to there. So I haven't touched the old points at all. I've just messed with the new points, and then with this. Same thing to select it. I select that one and then control click on this one to select 2. So I got a white one and a green one. I can right click and click split polygon. Makes a cut right across there. It's exactly the same for each of these objects. Now we have an apron object here and an apron object there. And I can go right over to this one, go copy properties, come over to this one, paste properties, and now they're 2 different surfaces. 2 different colors, doing 2 different things. Boom. So now we got to do the rounds. So again, I will go back to scenery editor.
01 Golf with Charlie.
I'm going to lock this one. I like to lock Kilo as well.
9080 Golf, squawk 0170.
But I want to undraw the surface for that one.
0170, 01 Golf.
Take off the surface on that one. Alright, so this one was locked, right? Yeah, so I can't select any of these nodes. So every time I select a node here, I know it's going to be on the object that I want because I've locked the other ones.
3500, 01 Golf.
Cannot select them.
That's a 01 Golf, enter right base.
Add a point.
Right base,
There.
right, 01 Golf.
A little closer. Alright, now this one is kind of different. See, there's a difference between gray and orange, or kind of dirt color here, so I want to make sure that I'm getting these up to the edge of the gray, where the actual hard surface is. Excuse me. Whew. Little sneezy poo there.
Contact tower 19, we'll see ya.
My sleep patterns the last few days have been weird. So I had night shifts the last 2 nights, and I was working till 11 p.m. So that's why you didn't see me much in the afternoons or anything at all the last couple of days. And I was trying to catch up on sleep because my kids were waking me up at night and stuff. And I was just trying to catch up on sleep during the daytime, so I didn't do a whole lot. And then I went from working till 11 last night to having to be at work at 8 today, 8 a.m. So it's a short turn. So I try to just get as much sleep as you can in between the two. I basically got home from work and went right to bed, as I usually do after these night shifts and the day shifts. So a lack of sleep. If I don't get enough sleep, it makes me sneeze sometimes. Not getting sleep makes me sneeze. I'm allergic. So the real good news is at work is we've been allowed to start doing facility tours again. I'm going to remove this one. So we get outsiders in the facility, kind of checking things out, learning about air traffic, which is always fun. We had one in yesterday. So if you're around, you can, not here obviously, but you can call up your local air traffic control tower and ask to get a tour again. Which I know a lot of people have been asking about. Especially the local the air traffic students, like my old flight instructor from the area and everything, has been asking, when can we get in the tower? When can we get another tour? Because while COVID happened and we weren't giving tours at all, things weren't changing a whole lot personnel-wise for us. But I know flight training just kept on going. It was a thing the whole time. And so there's new student pilots out there who have yet to ever get to go in a FAA facility. So it can be a really important part of the aviation experience for a lot of people, a lot of potential pilots. It's nice when we get to like summer camps and stuff that come tour the facility, because you get to kind of see just the wow factor in kids' eyes. And not every kid is really all that thrilled about this is air traffic control, because especially the younger they are, they don't really understand what's going on. It's kind of an abstract idea, so it's not amazing to everybody. But you get a couple that just sort of see the light bulb turn on inside and like, oh wow, this aviation's really cool. I don't condone anybody becoming an air traffic controller in general. It's not the best job in the world. It's a great job. I love what I do. So I think it's a good job, but it's not, I don't know. I wouldn't say it should be something that everybody should necessarily aspire to. It's a noble job. It's an important job, but I don't know. Be a doctor or a lawyer or something. There we go. That one's done. Okay, so now the edges here get kind of weird with, because there's going to be a part that underlaps this apron right here. I want to make sure this gets priority. So I'm gonna, oh, this is -2. It doesn't need to be -2. -1 is fine. So it's gonna be layered under there. So this is layer 0. This is priority 0. This part right here, this is priority -1. So this will go underneath anything that's 0. And I think these are the same, so it doesn't really matter there. All right, do a quick save of the scenery and make sure all this work is saved in there. Unlock some stuff here. Draw those surfaces back on. Back into the developer cam. Inspector mode. That's what this looks like. So we got a little bit of grain to this taxiway as it comes off the runway. It's a different color here, which is noticeable. To this part, different color, different color, different color. So you start to see the sort of patchwork kind of approach that these airports take. It's patched together. It's not the same piece of material used over and over again. There's some variation to it. So you got to kind of represent that. And then we still see the creases in this. The
335, descend and maintain 3,000.
Concrete, looking good. Follows the contour pretty well. So I want to show you what I was talking about with the little sort of border look. When you get the darker edge, you can see there's kind of a border to this. There you can see it there. And I really like that. I think that looks nice. So that's what I'm going for the most part. It's not always going to be present. You can see it along this edge. There's some nice border to it, which gives it a little bit of depth. Really see it here. And around that curve. It was there. It's gone now. Yeah, that's the process. Just layering different pieces of concrete on top of each other. Hard surfaces. Alright, moving on. Now this one is two different colors here. Kind of the same color here. Okay. Let's see, should I have done that also right here? Yeah, I think I should have. Alright, so we're going coloration. I'm going to use the same one that I used here. So this is what, the 115, 117, 127. Yeah, so let's do that here. 115, 117, 127. Sorry that I covered that up. So that changes that color to that one. There we go. It's a little more blue, a little less blue. I like that. We'll do the same thing. Oh, this is a tough one. I want to say that this goes with that blue color till here, and then it's this color over there. Okay, we'll do that. So, same method that I did before. I'm going to take a node here, add a node there, draw them down like there, draw it down to about there, click that node, right click, split polygon. There we go. Now we're going to get really fancy. I'm going to do a node there. Oopsie daisy. Select the node.
2628, passing 14.611,000 with Bravo. Delta 2628, Greensboro Approach, Greensboro altimeter is 2996, 23 right. 996, 23 right.
So the chatter you're hearing is Greensboro Approach. GSO Approach. Live ATC. I think I liked it. I like it instead of listening to music in the background. Like, it's very hard for me to find music that I actually like to start with, but that's not copyrighted. Let's do a split here. Oh, no, that's not where the split is. That's not where the split is. The split is... Oops, I moved the whole thing again. Okay, so just that node is selected. Oh, it's doing both of them, isn't it? Oh, this is kind of a weird... Look at this. Whee! Okay, so let's just do one node at a time. The split that I want is going to be up here. Just going to get the splits out of the way.
Approach, November 14 Kilo Mike.
Let's remove the surface.
November 14 Kilo Mike, Greensboro.
I should be in top-down camera to do this. So these are two nodes that I'm not going to want to move after I split it, because it's going to be shared by two different objects. So maybe I'll just leave it for now until I get this whole thing kind of done. That shouldn't be bad. So actually, let me do this. I'm going to add a node there. Try to get this straight away.
But if you want to stay with me to be sure, that'd be great. 97 Foxtrot. 97 Foxtrot, not a problem. Yeah, I'll just keep you on this heading for about 5 more miles, give you a base turn, and set you up. They are landing runway 33 today, so that's my intention with you. All right, I'll set up.
It's illegal to do that? Wow.
Maintain 7,000. Down at 7,000, Delta 26.
You know, I don't think that's the first time I've heard that. That does sound very familiar, and that's just a shame. That's just a shame. Oh, so we're gonna get some nice dark edge there, which I like. I like the darkness.
Departure, Honda test 1-2 is at 2,000 for 4,500.
Test 1-2, Greensboro Departure radar contact, say intentions.
Yeah, just want to get up to 10-5 VFR for a little bit, and we'll come back to Greensboro.
Roger, and do you have a particular spot you want to do that?
Just somewhere north of Field, Blues Creek or so, Honda 1-2.
Test 1-2, Roger. VFR climb 10,500 is approved. Turn right on course.
So Zephyrus, what I recommend you do is just go to liveatc.net and listen to a big American airport. It's fun to listen to, and it's very different than what you're going to hear on in the phraseology and whatnot is very different than what you'll hear in England, but it's good stuff. You get like Kennedy, something like that, something that's really cooking. Get those nice New York accents.
November 1336 Charlie, Greensboro Approach, Greensboro altimeter 29906. Advice when you have the weather, Davidson County, expect visual approach.
I think it's cool to have in the background.
November 36 Charlie, stand by for coordination.
Nobody else probably thinks it's cool. But I don't know. I also didn't notice anybody else doing that. That's something I've done for a while.
13,000, sending 12,000 across NB. We have information, Charlie.
Not when I'm flying. That's kind of confusing when you're flying. If you got VATSIM going and you got live ATC in the background. Okay, let's do the split here. We're gonna go this one and this one. Split polygons. I didn't do the naming of that last one. So this one I gotta do. It's not Kilo 2 apron.
3197 Foxtrot, turn left heading about 0.
I guess it is. That is Kilo 2 apron. That's also Kilo 2 apron. So Kilo apron. This is Kilo 1.
Turn right heading 020, vectors for traffic in your descent. Traffic 12 o'clock, it's 7 miles. Northeastbound altitude indicates
1
5,500.
apron. As is this one.
Alright, right turn heading 020. Flex at 519, looking 2628. And 3197 Foxtrot.
This one should already have the same properties as this one. It does, except I'm going to take this and move it down to 44 degrees.
November 3197 Foxtrot, winds and sailings at your 11 o'clock and 6 miles. Do you have it in sight?
I do.
I'll copy this one's properties.
3197 Foxtrot, roger, contact, winds
Add
and
it here.
123.75. See ya.
I appreciate your help. 12375 for 97 Foxtrot.
Anytime. Endeavor 4939, descend and maintain 6,000.
So you'll see a nice change in the surfaces in terms of what color they are here. It's got the sort of the bluer color, and then
Selection 518, traffic no factor, turn left.
goes into more of a gray.
Heading 350, flex at 518.
628, fly heading 055, vector downwind.
055, goes my 628.
Lead descend and maintain 4,000.
Heavily regulated. I know the radio, yeah, like the music radio I know has always been heavily regulated. One of my favorite movies, Pirate Radio. I don't know if you've seen that one. I think it's called something different in the UK, to be honest. It's called like the boat that rocked or something like that.
For now, and standby coordination.
All right, we'll maintain VFR below 12,000 for now. Honda test 12.
Endeavor 4939, flight in 160, vector final approach course.
160, Endeavor 4939.
Gotta love that regulation.
Good afternoon, Gemini 103, giving 2,400, climbing 4,000.
So yeah, here it's totally legal to record and rebroadcast air traffic control, chatter, and aviation stuff. So, which is nice because whenever there's a lot of transparency, whenever there's an accident or something like that, anybody can go to the archives, the live ATC archives, and just pick up a recording of it right away, and it's available.
Heading 350, 4,000, information problem.
I'm sorry, call approach again, please.
Part of the transparency of our system, I guess.
Section 518, Greensboro Departure, roger, descend and maintain 3,000, clear direct headed. Report to field site.
That's a shame, though. Sorry you guys aren't able to listen to this kind of stuff.
Greensboro Approach, experimental Lancer, 881 Delta Mike, level 6,700.
Number 881 Delta.
Isaac, man, good to see you, buddy. Happy Wednesday afternoon to you.
Section 518, just fly heading 320 when able, report to field site.
Heading 320, we have field site, section 518.
Section 518, clear visual approach, 23 right, contact tower, we'll see you.
Clear with the visual 23 right, or tower, section 518.
Contact 124, contact Washington Center 124.05, see you.
24.05, Honda 12.
So something I've been doing kind of in my spare time lately, mostly on my break time at work, is I've been trying to read through the user guide of the Milviz 310, Cessna 310, trying to get a handle on how to fly a multi-engine aircraft, and one that's high performance like it is. I think it's pretty much most of the multi-engine aircraft out there. Because I want to do some serious streaming on that aircraft. That is a fun one to fly. It's got some cool features to it that I think are really neat for kind of lend themselves well to the streaming type of thing. I think but you can customize the airplane and you can set it like individualize. I think was what they call it, where you get one tail number and it's like a living, breathing airplane where it gets dirty, it wears and tears, it has failures kind of that are independent. It has its own characteristics. The engine runs differently on every single tail number that you put in it. So, and it will always perform that way. It has sort of little quirks to it, and most of the stuff inside of it will.
I'm sorry about that. That's the first time I've seen that call sign. Turn left heading 180. That's the
Some things will wear out more. Some things will run rough a little, maybe not 100% certain way. So you have to kind of work around things that make every airplane different than the next. There's an incident and the comms becomes a public interest. It's all public, and I think you can get it through a FOIA request. So that's good.
Reduce speed to 210, please.
Freedom of information.
4,000.
So why don't they just have it out there all the time then? I mean, well, I guess like you said, it's all just very regulated. So no live ATC in the UK.
802 Charlie November, Roger, deviation.
Gosh, I guess there's just so many things we just do better here, isn't there?
And what approach you'd like? Delta 2628, Greensboro's 1 o'clock and 10 miles. Inside Delta 2628. Delta 2628, cleared visual approach runway 23 right, reduce speed to 170, and if you could, square it off. So on a 170, cleared visual 23 right, Delta 2628.
So I'm actually off until Monday night. Got a nice long weekend. One of my goals, I haven't told my wife, one of my goals this weekend is to go see Top Gun Maverick. So I don't know how I'm going to pull that off with the 3 kids. I don't think my oldest is 5, so they're not young enough to. They're not old enough, I should say, to go see this movie. So I'm going to have to probably do it by myself. I'm not getting a babysitter. We're getting a babysitter tonight. The kids don't know that yet. That's why I'm kind of keeping that quiet too. But we're going to see Chris Rock tonight, which I'm pretty excited about. I've never seen him before, so that'll be fun. Obviously seen his stuff on TV. But I think I gotta go figure out how I'm gonna go see that movie this weekend. It's a weird old law about listening to broadcasts that are not meant for you or not meant for public. So dumb. Yeah. Yeah, reviews have been amazing of that movie. So, and I'm hearing that from aviation people too, which really I think is really meaningful. And I guess like people who have been, there's all sorts of videos you can watch on YouTube of guys who are actual like on podcasts, aviation podcasts and everything, that are people who are actually like former Top Gun instructors and stuff, who are, I think they have a lot of the guys that actually did instructing on the film and everything, who have just been like, this stuff is as real as it gets in terms of flying in, like dogfighting type of flying in movies. So I think it's pretty awesome, and the fact that everybody seems to really like the movie, I think is, it's either really scary or really good, you know. A lot of movies you go like Rotten Tomatoes, and if the audience response is really good, that usually means it's a pretty entertaining movie, but the reviewers, the critics are like just bash them. Does it seem like critics and like the audience seem to really be at odds with what makes a great movie these days? That's just a shame, isn't it? It's like we have two completely different sets of criteria for what we like to see, and kind of losing touch with the audience, I think, if you can praise something that the audience hates, or just bash something that the audience loves. Like, who do you think these movies are made for? They're not made for critics. Which is probably part of the reason why most of the movies that win Academy Awards now nobody even sees. Because, well, somebody might think it's technically a good movie. Like, who cares what the judges say, you know? But the voters, I guess, what might technically be a good movie isn't necessarily entertaining. And people need to be entertained if they're going to want to spend money on it. Critics overthink things, absolutely. So yeah, I don't know what the critics' reviews have been about Top Gun. If it's anybody that knows anything about aviation, I can't imagine that they're going to be all that bad either. So very excited to hopefully get to see that very soon. Alright, this part looks like it's just a completely different surface that whole time. Ooh. Why did I let that get by? This looks like it's this color still. Alright, so the Kilo 1s are done. Unlock that one. Come on. Unlock. Save. And we'll start with Delta. Kilo 6, Kilo 5. There is no Kilo 4. Kilo 3, Kilo 2, Kilo 1, Delta. Yeah. See some Top Gun. Man, I love that movie when I was a kid. Came out, what, 86? So I was 4 when it came out. But,
125, 1 Delta Mike 1.
I don't know that I saw it until like 88, 89, something like that for the first time. Yes, my 5-year-old will not be going to it with me. Probably love it though. This one definitely we're gonna have to have at home. Alright, so same thing here. We'll split off this texture, move it down. Not texture, object. Same exact technique.
Foothills 962, descend now to 10,000, then cross Roush at and maintain 6,000.
Descend now to 10,000.
That's very funky phraseology she just used. I'm not saying she did it wrong, she didn't do it right, but it's awkward phraseology to say, and it's easy to mess up. Send now, maintain 12,000. Actually, that's not even right. Send now, maintain 12,000, then via pilot's discretion, maintain 6,000. For instance, is kind of funky to say, kind of funky to hear. Repeat. Alright, there's Kilo. This is going to be Delta apron. So I guess, should I just make this a completely different... Let's make this a new group. Okay, so what I'm doing with this is I'm going to move it into the Taxiways object and do a new group here. Rename this group Taxiway Delta. Open it. There we go. Do another new group inside of that one. That's called Apron. So I got all of these. They got an apron and edge lights folders underneath them. Keeps everything kind of organized so I can go turn them off individually. Off and on. Save all that. Alright, so this will have inherited the same properties from Taxiway Kilo there. So again, I'm going to have to do the thing where I rotate to 44 degrees. The texture. Draw it back on. Now it's going that way, which is what we want. Oh, my posture is just atrocious. I'm starting to feel it a little bit. This has a lot of round to it here, so might have to use a few more points than I did on the last couple. Alright, this is a clockwise rotation, so let's start over here.
Foothills 962, contact Charlotte approach 128.32.
Or is it counterclockwise? So you're hearing two different air traffic controllers, and that's because this actually rotates between the two different frequencies that we use. We have two different sectors that are generally open, and so you're hearing it kind of the radio frequencies that they have on live ATC. I think kind of just like scan back and forth between the two of them. Let me look at that. Look that up real quick. So KGSO. So yeah, it's the approach departure ones, 26.6 and 24.35. You can isolate both of them. So you get just the west and the south frequencies are, you can listen to them individually, and then this one scans, which I like better.
2's at 14,300. Working our way back to UBFR.
Test 1-2, Greensboro Approach, altimeter 2995, 23 right, and...
There's Honda test aircraft in the
2995 and...
in the airspace again today. All of their production aircraft, this is Honda Jet we're talking about, have to go in and out of, have to be tested just to make sure everything works right, and have to get a little bit of airborne testing before they're actually delivered to their owners. So they're constantly out flying around doing high altitude testing. Well, let's see, they did some high speed runs down the runway today with one of them. It was actually that airplane, Honda Test 1-2. Usually happens right when they're about to getting ready to deliver a plane to somebody. And actually, some of it, I mean, they provide initial training to pilots right there, right here also. So before you're allowed to pick up your airplane, you have to go through so much training if you're going to be the operator.
Roger, where are you?
Owner operators. There's a lot of owner operators of Honda jets. So they'll get their training here, and then they get to leave with their airplane. Which, speaking of Top Gun, Tom Cruise did that very thing. He owns a Honda jet, which he is an owner operator of.
5354 Greensboro Approach, altimeter 2995, 23 right, descend and maintain 8,000.
Down to 8,000, 23 right, was 5354.
Honda Test 1-2, turn left heading 180.
Left heading 180, Honda Test 1-2.
Greensboro, Sirius 2, Charlie November, we can cancel with you.
Sirius 2, Charlie November, Roger, IFR cancellation received, change advisory frequencies approval, see you.
Squawk VFR, good day, 2 Charlie November.
18 Juliet Alpha, squawk 2506.
Squawking 2506, 18 Juliet Alpha, thank you. Departure SealJet 417, we have a build-up request, 10 right.
SealJet 417, Roger. Yes, direct Wayne when able, but deviations right of course are approved.
Direct Wayne when able, deviations are approved, SealJet 417.
I want to know, where do I go to stream Top Gun Maverick? It's not available to stream yet, I don't think. I think they've been counting on that movie for so long to actually sell tickets at theaters that they waited until theaters were actually having people in them again. That movie's been so delayed in terms of its release. And so we've got some IMAX theaters around that I'm going to have to try to find a way to get to one of them.
5,500, 18 Juliet Alpha.
Maybe Saturday will be a good day to do that. See if I can get some tickets for that.
299
Oh, I'm working on Saturday. Dang it. That's right, I got stuck with overtime.
Departure SealJet.
I'll do it tomorrow then.
Direct Wayne at this time.
SealJet 417, thank you. Contact Atlanta Center 128.
Yeah, do it during the day. That's the way to do it. So there's not that many people out.
Greensboro Approach, Greensboro altimeter 2995, verify information.
I like that idea. Good idea, guys.
354 clear direct headed, vectors for the visual.
November 7 Juliet Sierra, Roger, turn 30 degrees left, vectors. Final approach course, runway 523 right.
Everybody tells me that's a movie you got to see in IMAX. I believe it.
November 4042, Mike, Greensboro Approach, Greensboro altimeter 2995.
Blue Streak 5354, descend and maintain 4,500.
4,500, Blue Streak 5354.
Streak 5354, Greensboro Airport to shore 12 o'clock, 18 miles.
Airport east side, Blue Streak 5354.
Blue Streak 5354, clear visual approach, runway 23 right, reduce speed to 170.
Alright, clear for division 23 right, slowing down 170 knots, Blue Streak 5354.
Number 14 Kilo Mike, contact Atlanta Center 125.15, see you.
125.15, 140 Mike.
November 7 Juliet 0, turn left heading 040.
Left turn 040, 797 Juliet 0, thanks.
Alright, the performance here is starting to get a little chunky. I can feel that these aren't really snapping like they used to.
Departure alert, 961 Mike with you. 2.2 for 5,000, 270 heading.
Clear 961 Mike, Greensboro Departure, radar
Those-
contact.
this
runway
is a
2000.
Definitely when you're doing these developer mode things,
Blue Streak
you have to keep
5354,
changing
contact
around
Atlanta,
the
see you.
scenery assets. It seems to take a little bit of a toll on the system.
November 42 Mike, descend and maintain 4,000.
4,000, down for 42 Mike.
Mike, turn right direct to Wayne.
Okay, right turn, direct to Wayne, 1 Mike.
Yeah, this is not hard stuff to do. Anybody can do it. I think people should do it. Have a little fun with it. Maybe don't take on a project quite as big as what I'm doing. But find your local airport, something that you know, something you can get some access to. Maybe get smaller airports. It's usually easier to get on and take pictures and stuff without anybody freaking out like you're some sort of a terrorist or something. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube? I don't know. But, so yeah, get out there and get some local knowledge of these places and make some improvements. Google assets are so good now that you can really get out there and you can just use satellite imagery for a lot of these things, just do some pretty considerable improvements over what the Asobo AI has done.
Point you more towards the airport and get away from them.
Up to 12000, Comjet 8.
Little handcrafted TLC is what a lot of these airports need. This one specifically that I'm working on right now is just butchered by the AI. It's the Taxiway using really old assets for, or sources I should say, for things like taxiway names and layout. So it's rough. Alright, that part is done. Another finished surface. Let's draw that in. Turn all of these on, I guess.
Number 182 Alpha, that traffic's no
I
factor.
guess I should probably put this apron in at some point. If I ever want to be able to access it. That's where my plane is, right there. My little Skyhawk, little Cessna 152. Good to see ya.
Give it to 863, cleared, direct Genie.
Direct to Genie, Comjet 8.
Oh yeah. Find a smaller local airport. A small local airport's a good place to start. I'm talking about something that's got one little runway and like a taxiway, maybe a little ramp area or something like that. That's a good place to start, they say. So I don't heed their their warnings, and I take on these huge projects.
Yeah, should be able to do a visual to 3-1. There we go.
500 Victor Alpha, thank you.
If it's looking to see if we can get more of a north-northwest heading.
5070 Alpha, roger, turn, just give me about 3 more miles in the heading and I'll have a turn for you to the north.
Yep, okay. Greensboro, 0 pickup has marked and claim all cancel airport.
Kinger 500 Victor Alpha, roger, IFR cancellation received, no traffic observed between you and the field, change advisory frequencies approved, we'll see you.
0 pickup, have a good night.
Good night.
It's not doing too bad.
Jet 70 Alpha, turn left heading 360.
Alright, left 360, 70 Alpha.
Oh, I just realized I turned that one off.
Jet 70 Alpha, in the turn, there is traffic at your 10 o'clock, 6 miles, northeastbound, level 5,500, Skyhawk VFR.
Gatwick, okay.
Or 19 Juliet Alpha, traffic 3 o'clock and 5 miles. Climbing out of
Biggin
5,000
Hill, though
for
there is quite a lot of
higher
military
is a
stuff
jet.
there now, so it might not be as easy as it used to be to get in.
Hold the end of the car for the traffic, Skyhawk.
You guys don't just have like local little airfields? I thought you do.
42 Mike, clear direct Reno.
Clear Reno for 42 miles.
November 7 Juliet Sierra, contact approach 124.35.
2435 now, thanks. 797 Juliet, sir.
Uh-oh. This is why we do these things. Look at that.
Citation 797 Juliet.
That's not good.
5000 heading 040.
For 597 Juliet Sierra, Greensboro Approach, roger, descend and maintain 4,000.
Maintain 4000, 797 Juliet, sir. Thanks.
That's better. Cannot have any seams. Can't do it.
November 42 Mike, turn left heading at 300, intercept the localizer and for spacing for traffic.
330 going up to the localizer for 42 miles.
And November 42 Mike, contact approach 124.35. They're trying to get a lattice jet. It's a medevac, and they're going to try to get them in first.
Something looks terribly wrong.
Juliet Alpha, traffic no factor.
Greensboro,
Oh, that's good.
196 Alpha Hotel is
This looked a little weird for some reason.
Pilatus Jet 196 Alpha Hotel, Greensboro Approach, altimeter
Alright.
295. Are you a
No
medevac,
small
sir?
airports in London. It's gotta be. How long does it take to get outside of London to go to a little airport?
6 Alpha Hotel, thank you. Expect the visual runway 33.
Visual 33, roger.
97 Juliet Sierra, descend and maintain 3,000, Greensboro's off your left wing and 10 miles.
Send maintain 3000, we're looking for the airport, sir. 797 Juliet, sir.
Or 196 Alpha Hotel, descend and maintain 3,000.
3,000 now, 6 Alpha Hotel.
For 4042 Mike, 300 heading, going up to the localizer.
November 4042 Mike, Greensboro Approach, roger.
Greensboro Citation 797 Juliet, sir. We have the field in sight, sir. We'd like to just proceed out, maybe turn approximately into heaven.
For 797 Juliet Sierra, roger. Clear visual approach, runway 23 right. I don't have any behind you. Just report making your base turn.
Call you making a base turn. Clear visual 23 right, 797 Juliet, sir. And Greensboro 797 Juliet, sir. Left base this time, 23 right.
797 Juliet Sierra, roger. Contact Tower 19-1. We'll see you.
Tower, thank you.
Yeah, we're not going down that way.
November 610, Niner Papa Greensboro. Did you check in?
November 45 Victor.
Pretty tight on space, yeah, I know.
5 miles.
A little landlocked out in those parts.
3,800.
45 Victor's looking for traffic.
Number 4042, Mike, clear direct to Reno, and if you could keep the speed up, you'll be number 1, descend and maintain 3,000.
Reno 3,000, keep your speed up for 14.
I've got to get this paint texture thing figured out. So I can start painting, then it'll look like a real airport. Alright, so I said there would be taxiway pavement. Do this last one.
November 90645 Victor.
Home run stretch here, I think.
10 o'clock. 3 miles northeastbound, altitude indicates 3,700.
Yeah, we're still looking for him. 45 Victor.
And 196 Alpha Hotel has the airport site. 196 Alpha Hotel, Roger, give me number 2, expected downwind turn in 3 miles. 6 Alpha Hotel.
Yeah, 45 Victor has traffic site.
November 45 Victor, Roger.
From airport site, it's 12 o'clock and 1 at 5 miles.
Inside 42 Mike.
42 Mike, Roger, clear, visual approach.
Oh, that's exactly what you should do then. I mean, hours is kind of a trek, but that's the kind of stuff I think they're generally talking about when you talk about these smaller local fields. But I wouldn't want to take Heathrow or Gatwick on as my first project, especially when there's some payware that are available that are already pretty solid. There's payware for this, but it's absolute garbage. Yeah, well, watch how I say that. My son likes to repeat that word a lot, so they're not the very good. Let's just say that.
Number 4042, Mike, contact Winston Tower 123.75, see you.
375 today, 42 Mike.
Okay. November 601, Niner Papa, Greensboro, up.
Turning back around.
I'll wait for it today. We're just keeping an eye on him till we pass. 45 Victor.
Roger.
Alright, let's have some fun. So the question now is, which one of these do I split?
Greensboro Approach, Warrior 4349, exit.
I have to split this one, because this one's only 2 nodes. I can't split more than 2 nodes. Someone talk to 4349er X-ray. Come on.
X-ray, Greensboro Approach, squawk 0113.
So are you on this frequency?
0113, 49 X-ray.
Number 18, Julian Alpha, contact Roanoke Approach 126.9er, see ya.
Okay, so we got these nodes here. I'm going to add one there. Add one there.
Approach on 126.9er, see ya.
Gonna zoom way out.
126.9er, Skyhawk 18 Juliet Alpha.
November 4349 X-ray, radar contact 15 miles north of the Greensboro Airport, enter rate base 23 right, and say altitude.
I'm going to get kind of funky with these. And I'm going to take that one to there.
November 601, Niner Papa, Greensboro, up.
Take that one to there. Now select that node, and split. Okay, so this polygon goes off the northwest, goes into Delta. Rename that Delta Apron.
For 43.9 X-ray, enter rate base 23 right, contact tower, we'll see you.
Base 23 right, over the tower, 49 X-ray, see ya.
So this is what you should be able to do. I don't live here or near this airport, really. I mean, I live near it, but I'm about 20-minute drive out. I live right over in this neighborhood. This neighborhood here. Which go down this highway. I guess it looks a lot closer than it is. This is my exit here. drive down, blah, 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 get on this highway.
19 Papa, this is November 60 Hotel Sierra.
Excuse me. Whew.
Jet 6 Alpha Hotel, fighting 060.
The real pain in the butt about getting to my airport is I have to get off of the highway here, go down this highway, go all the way around the airport, enter here, come all the way back in the airport to get to the tower. There. So I have to come down, go around the airport, inside of the airport. Ugh, you can't just go from straight over here right into there. Which would be so much faster. It would save like 6 minutes off my drive, 5-6 minutes. So that would be nice. But anyway, so yeah, there's another airport right over. So there's ours right here. Much smaller. What has gone on? What has happened? Oh, it did this again, didn't it? Okay, so now I just change the camera to top down. Kind of recenters us. Developer cam. As I was saying, here's this other airport. This is the Winston-Salem. This is KINT. It also has a tower. It's a contract tower. It's not a federally run tower. Federally operated tower, I should say. Contracted. This one is actually better looking than Greensboro. What is that? That's interesting. Some fun terraforming there.
If you can hear this transmission, acknowledge with an ident.
I've done touch and go with this airport, but I've never done anything other than that. There was just one time. I think I did 2 touch and goes maybe, and I'm like, I'd never been to this airport in my life, and that was for my what do they call it, or flight review. It had been a few years since I'd flown an airplane. I was trying to get some new fresh currency for my private pilot's license, and it's just a couple years ago. Oh, it's a hole. That is one hole right there. This one looks better than ours. Oh my goodness. I don't know what that is. Oh, it does. It's not even fair. Wow, this has some serious altitude issues. I don't know what the contours are in real life. Oh, maybe this follows them. That's pretty cool looking. This airport's better than Greensboro's. So anyway, this would be the sort of project that is maybe a better starter size. This is a, let's say this is a, hello? Hit the volume thing. This is maybe a medium-sized airport.
2,000 for 5,000, running 12.
And if you want a really good one,
Greensboro Departure, radar
see,
contact,
depart
I
the
maintain
Greensboro, go up here for a ways. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you see. Okay, so we come up here a little ways.
Running a 1-2, clear direct bolt.
Clear direct bolt for running 12.
Martinsville Speedway here. Martinsville, Virginia.
Greensboro Approach, Comanche 6019 Papa.
Their airport's right over here, isn't it?
And I was just on the landline with someone. Say again, please.
To get around this cell in front of me, and direct bolt.
Radio 1-2, deviations right, of course, approved when able, direct bolt and advice.
Is approved, and we'll notify you when we're direct bolt.
We're here now, 195.
Where's Shiloh?
Bonanza 6176 uniform, Greensboro Approach, Greensboro altimeter 2995, runway 23 right.
3794, descend and maintain 4,000.
So where is it? The airport. There it is. This is the airport I probably should have started with.
November 76 uniform. Stand by for coordination.
Yeah, oval racetracks. This is where I did a lot of my flight training. Actually, probably if you've watched my VFR flying videos at all, then this is an airport I've been in a bunch. Wow, they don't even draw any
128.8.
pavement here. What is, this isn't what it looks like. It's just because I'm in dev mode. Now they've got better assets than this on the ground. Yeah, you can tell this is not it's not drawing the aprons because it's got all of the overgrowth. This place looks like it's been completely run down. I should have started with this airport. That's even got a vehicle driving around. So yeah, this is the closest thing to a local airport, I guess you could say, that we really have. That's good for. It's the right size, I would say. Okay, let's go find Martinsville. It should be right out towards these hills that are right in front of us here. Cheapest gas around. Uh-oh. Oh, don't crash on me.
050, 3794.
It's like right up against these hills. Where is it?
Greensboro Approach, November 5648, 23 right.
Blue Ridge Airport, it's called, or the Blue Ridge Mountain Range. Where is it?
Wisconsin 3794, descend and maintain 3,000. Greensboro ports off your left wing and 6 miles. Your right wing, I'm sorry.
Potential aircraft has center weather advisory 201 available for the Greensboro area and available on flight service frequencies.
Goes the visual 23 right, Wisconsin. There's 3794.
There's the speedway.
And approach 488, airport site.
Airport's got to be over here somewhere.
Weather advisory 201 available for
Bing,
the
there it
Greensboro
is.
area. Isolated thunderstorms with top to flight level 400.
It's not as against those mountains as I thought it was.
More information available on flight service
Oh,
frequencies.
they did a runway rehab project. So there's nothing here. This would have been a perfect one to do then. Cheapest gas around. It's got this little blue building here. Has actually got a little restaurant inside of it. It's pretty tasty stuff too. All right. Let's get back to the airplane. Crashes the whole system. Boom. Now it's got loading all the scenery back in. Maybe that dump will help the performance a little bit. How long have we been going here? It is 4:30. An hour and a half now? Yeah, hour and 39 minutes. Oh, performance is back. Look at that. And not quite. Okay. Anywho. So we had a taxiway we were working on, didn't we? What was I doing here again? Alright. Okay, so what I did here is I...
November 76 uniform clear direct Havoc contact approach 124.35.
I'm gonna get kind of detailed. This is a sort of the next level of taxiway apron design. Make it sound all like exciting. So I'm gonna do 3 different parts to this taxiway. And I'm gonna cut it off here because it's different colors. So I'm gonna cut it off here. Oh, it's 4 different colors. And so it's going to go that direction for this little square, this rectangle. Then I'm going to have it go this north and or what it looks like east to west from this angle for the rest of that corner. Going to do the same thing for this corner. Going to use a different color. It's the same color here, I guess. Maybe something similar anyway. for this part. Still going left to right, because that's all left to right. Then right here I'm going to go up and down and pretty much go all the way to here, that part. So that is 1 part, 2 parts, 3 parts, 4 parts, 5 parts, and a 6th one if I want to do it. That connector there at Delta 1, which I haven't even done this one yet, so I'll do those later. So I did an add point, but it said no. It said no. It said Why isn't it doing it?
November 488 traffic here following 12 to
Oh,
11
what is going on here?
miles. Turning on the final now is a regional out of 2800.
Looking for the regional 5648.
Let's get to the top down.
Greensboro Departure, break here at 3677, 1,900 for 5,000.
Brickyard 3677, Greensboro Departure, radar contact, climb maintain 12000.
1,2000, Brickyard 3677.
Good with that spot.
Tally on that traffic for 4 day. Can we turn inbound behind them?
Number 488, follow the traffic, caution turbulence straight in 23 right, contact tower.
22 right over to tower 4 day.
Brickyard 3677, turn left direct Genie.
Direct Genie, Brickyard 3677.
Approach 9347 November. We're not able to contact Charlotte on 1283, which seems unusual for the area.
It does. And November 47 November, Roger. Just remain this frequency for a minute. Let me check if that's working for them.
Okay, 9347 November.
Charlotte not telling us when their stuff doesn't work? That would never happen. Never, ever.
November 90347 November, contact Charlotte Approach 128.32. They said they could hear you. They're just a little busy.
2832, we'll contact them. And actually, if it makes it easier for them, we can cancel IFR now and just proceed visual to Concord.
There you go. Now you're talking to everybody. Every controller loves to hear those words. We can cancel IFR. IFR cancellation received. Goodbye. Okay, so we got that portion.
November 47 November, IFR cancellation
There's
received.
a lot of color difference here. Alright, let's go get our special tool here.
39 Greensboro Departure, radar contact, climb maintain 12000.
Actually, I don't want to use that one. I'm going to make a new one. Alright, there's my new object.
November 76 uniform, you got the field?
Oops, that's what I need. So,
November
taxiway.
76 uniform, make straight in approach 23 right, contact tower.
Let's use the runway one.
Approach, good evening, November
Cat 'em.
81, Tango Sierra, leaving 10,800.
November 381 Tango Sierra, Greensboro Approach, Greensboro altimeter 29903, correction 29905.
995, lock down here.
Good speed 128, climb and maintain
So
17,000.
I'll put that right here.
1000, can see 128.
Blue Streak 5239, clear direct to Chesley.
Chesley, Blue Street 5239.
Good
That
speed
there, let's
128,
try.
contact Washington
Let's give this
Town
another shot, shall we?
124.05.
So I'm going to go to view, color extractor, extract the colors. Boom, boom. That's not right at all. Ugh. refreshes all of this, and it just takes a minute for it to pop back in. There we go.
Brickyard 5239.
All right, so you tell me.
Have a good
Brickyard 3677 contact at Washington Center 124.05.
24.05, Brickyard 3677.
Oh, I just done messed that up, didn't I? That's the one I wanted. There we go. So we go to this. Oh no, I did. Ugh. Okay, this is one we want color extractor for. Come on, load in. There we go. That's just not even close. Look at this. So you get out here, and then you're like, are they close? I guess they kind of are. This is the real test right here. You get zoomed way out like this, and then turn that off. All right. Okay. I can make that work. We can make that work. I'll make that work. Alright, so let's undo all that. Alright, so what colors have we got? 115, 119, 122. It's very similar to what we used over here. But we'll go with it. Why not? Is it adequately different than this color?
Greensboro Departure, Archer 8.
Archer 81800, correction, 81800, Greensboro Approach.
Yeah, I'd say so. I guess I'd be happy with that.
What type of aircraft again?
These colors are not right.
November 81800.
Not right for each other.
Squawk.
So we'll say that I just feel like there's just a little bit more blue in it. You know? It's just a smidge more blue.
Stationair 193 Papa, Greensboro Approach, Greensboro altitude 29905.
Ooh. So let's turn the opacity off. Go 100% on this. Ground merging off.
November 81800, radar contact at 5 miles south of Davidson County Airport, Greensboro altitude 29905, VFR altitude, your discretion.
There, I like that. Let's go with that. I think that looks much better. Yeah, slap that on there. One of those. Yeah, okay. I like that. Okay, so let's take this thing, move it back over here. Say we're done with that for now. What was I doing? That one comes back. Take the properties here. Copy.
Greensboro Approach, good afternoon.
Paste here.
8.1, climate 8.5 VFR.
Oh yeah. That is going to be so nice looking. Okay, so we do this. Yeah, that's the stuff.
November 903 Papa, traffic at 10 o'clock.
Especially down in this part, you can tell that looks really nice.
Westbound altitude indicates 4,100.
And 93 Papa visual with that traffic. I'll make it.
November 903 Papa, roger.
Greensboro Approach, Flint 32 is with you, 8.2, climate 8.5.
Okay.
Flint 32, Greensboro Approach, Greensboro altitude 29905.
995.
Gotta get into the light work here at some point. I said I would. Gotta stick to that. Stick to the plan. It's taking me too long to get all this down. Okay, let's continue, shall we? I think what I'm going to do here is do this crossy part.
7,000 to 2,500. 110.
November 1 Tango Sierra, roger.
And you should be able to see my mode C.
Hey, mind your business about that mode C stuff, buddy.
Tango Sierra, affirmative. I had seen you started descent and whatnot, and that's fine.
La 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 la.
Roger that. I mean, weather's pretty good. If you want me, I can cancel flight following and just go on my own. We're 110.
No, that's your discretion.
Yeah, why didn't you say that in the first place if that's what you want to do, buddy?
Roger that. We'll stay with you for a bit longer then.
November 903 Papa, contact approach 124.35.
I'd like to be better, but I'm going to lose 124.35.
Oh, trust me, you'll say that later.
So they had to do some adjusting on this part of the taxiway because there was like a dip in here that was every time an airplane went above it, they were going up this hill, like coming up the taxiway this way is a hill, and then they get to this thing and they go boom. You could tell they were doing a big bump, and everybody was commenting on it. It's definitely not shown here. Trying to get a feel for where the grain of this thing is. Okay, you can see that part of it. Okay, so we'll do that. Put it to like right here. Do that kind of cut.
Medevac 6 Alpha Hotel, contact Atlanta 128.8. Have a great day.
Okay, we'll do that.
6 Alpha touch base.
Okay, so let's see. We'll take these two nodes. Let's draw them out here.
Greensboro 8710 Bravo, checking
Doesn't matter where they go. Select these two.
71 Juliet Bravo, Greensboro, altimeter 29904.
Actually, in this case, I want this one to go out here. I'll do like a add one here. This one go over here. Add one here. That, guys, we're almost up to the ramp. Alright, all of that is there, so we're just going to go click on this one, on that one.
1 Tango 0 traffic.
Split.
12 to 1 o'clock and 6 miles. Altitude indicates 3,000. Looks like they're just maneuvering in that area.
Roger, we got on the fish finder for now. Once enough here, we'll keep our eye out.
So this one's grain is going to be 134 degrees.
We got traffic inside, no fact.
November 1 Tango 0, roger.
Texture rotation 130. Come on, give me 34. All right, it's up to. Whatever.
Envoy 3503 Greensboro Approach, Greensboro altimeter 29904, runway 23 right.
Oh, the sim's just getting chunky.
10,030 miles inside of Greensboro.
Piedmont 6231, Greensboro, runway 23 right, altimeter 2990.
2994 and 23 right, Piedmont 6231.
Guy had sort of a Quagmire type of quality to his voice. All right. 1618, all right.
November 80 Sarah, contact Fayetteville Approach 127.8. Good day.
It's funny, some pilots you just get, you tell them to do something that they weren't even thinking was coming, and then they just get this like deer in the headlights kind of a, I imagine that's what the look on their face would be, but then like you give them this transmission that they totally weren't expecting or ready for, and they just get, you just hear silence. Like they're just going, what? It's pretty funny. You can tell from GA pilots especially that that's happening. It's like, what did you just say? I was not ready for that at all. Please don't talk to me. It's like when you're in school, like teachers asking tough questions, and you're just like, please don't call on me. Please don't call on me. Please don't call on me. So this color I want to match here, I think. So I'll just copy properties. This one. Go up here and say paste properties. It's going to draw it in, which is fine with me. So now it should say 44 degrees when I select 134, yeah, good. The properties are accurate, yay. Just need to get the contour. Posture, guys, posture. Got a nice dark edge here,
November 381
which I like,
Tango
as I've already mentioned.
Sierra, radar service terminated. Squawk VFR, frequency change approved. Good day.
PMOS 6231, descend and maintain 3000, clear headed, Vector Stefano, report to field and site.
And we just took off out of Burlington. We are now about 7 miles south of Burlington. We'd like to pick up VFR flight following at 4,500 feet. Go to the
November 1750 Tango, squawk 5141.
5141 to 1753 Tango with a request.
Go ahead with request.
Yes, sir. We would like to shoot the ARP packet on for runway 22 left at Tuesday.
What airport was he asking for? I'm a little bummed that I never got a response out of that one.
November 1750 Tango, radar contact 7 miles southwest of Burlington Airport, Greensboro, altimeter 2994. And maintain VFR, proceed direct to Iwoku.
This one has a little bit of a bite taken out of it here.
Envoy 3503 Greensboro Approach, Greensboro altimeter 2994, runway 23 right.
We've got Delta and understand 23 right, Envoy 3503.
Envoy 3503, roger, verified 900,000. I think I missed your check on.
No, we got, you gave us 23 right. We checked on it. We got you.
Okay, thank you.
Couple little bites taken out of this one.
And just verifying, we're crossing Gans right now, direct airport, correct?
Envoy 3503, affirmative.
See, I respect what that pilot just did.
Direct now if you want.
There's a little bit of confusion between him and the controller, and he's just verifying to make sure they think they got it all figured out, but they just want to make sure everything's still safe. They don't want to do something wrong. I don't mind people asking. Pilots a lot of times will ask, like when you're up in the tower, they say, verify we cleared the land. I have no problem with someone saying that. A lot of times, you get, some controllers, especially younger ones, will get kind of defensive. Like, yeah, I cleared the land, dude. Weren't you listening? But as a guy who's also a pilot, I was like, that is something you don't want to mess up. You don't want to be wrong about landing clearances. So I don't mind anybody asking.
1 Echo Tango, Greensboro, altimeter 2994.
We're all about safety.
And approach runway 3503, another request. Can we go maybe 20 degrees right for a build-up?
Envoy 3503, 20 degrees right, approved.
The infamous build-ups.
Baseball?
For work, but now that you told me about it, I'm going to.
Yeah, they're hosting one of the regionals.
Greensboro, RV 851 Foxtrot Hotel.
We're talking about baseball. Sephiroth, you wouldn't know anything about that, right? Don't play it in that country. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Not really.
Charlie, go ahead.
Go to Charlie, we're on RV 6 off of Bear Harbor, 1800 VFR to Uniform Kilo Foxtrot at 6500.
Wilkes County.
You said you're an RV8?
RV 6.
Come on, even I heard that. I guess that one I didn't want to be that color. Let's do the color thing again, shall we? Now, I'm going to use a new tool here. Watch this. So I can click E, and now I can rotate this. Woo! It's the one with the ball and the bat that isn't cricket. Yeah, except way better.
Present heading for your climb, and I'll have on course in a second.
How do I get rid of
Present
that?
heading on Foxtrot
I want this
75,
E to,
6,500.
I want this rotating thing to go away. Go away, little wheel.
And approach Envoy 3503 is direct east at this time.
Envoy 3503.
Ugh, they're stuck now. Make it. Oh, there we go. Okay. R. Bring that over here.
Stand by. Envoy 3503.
Let's do
what
this.
would you
Let's
say the,
make this thing
business
disappear.
platform for
Delta
that
1
area that
apron.
you just maneuvered around?
Lock and go away.
Oh, it'd be hard to say. I bet you the tops were at least 20, maybe just north of 20.
Roger. Were the bases around 8?
Bases were probably where we are right now, about 6.
Roger.
Yeah.
32, about 20 miles ahead.
The one
on
Brad Pitt
your
movie.
route.
You're talking about
Pizza
Moneyball.
reported at 6,000.
But, okay, I'll give you that one.
Okay, we'll go ahead, can we go ahead and descend?
Yeah, a game should not
to
take 5 days. I agree with you on that. That goes along with your more refined British sensibilities, though, right? That's what that is you have to be more sophisticated like that to be able to understand a game that lasts that long.
Split 32, VFR altitude, your discretion.
Alright, altitude, my discretion, thank you.
Trying to think about how long I'm going today.
Oasis 11, squawk 2042.
Airport cleared to Dulles Airport
Hang on.
via Genie, Lynchburg, Montebello, Casanova, direct. I maintain 12000, expect 15000 in 10 minutes.
Genie, Lynchburg, Montebello, Casanova, then direct. I maintain 12000 and 15 and 10, Skylab 61.
Skylab 61, reback correct. Say altitude leaving, I missed that part, I'm sorry.
It just doesn't want to say 134.
Skylab 61.
Okay.
Leaving 6000, you can resume on navigation for traffic.
Alright, leaving 6000, direct.
Just about any sport will drink heavily in the U.S. Not me personally, but a lot of people. Alright, let's go down to 205. Oh, the little one is awake. The middle child is awake, and she is being very middle childish. Doing middle child things.
Approach Envoy 3503.
What do we think of that color? I'll be honest, I'm not thrilled with it, but that might work all right. Quite a bit different than that color, so okay, we'll use it. Alright, so unlock this.
4,000, Envoy 3503.
So you can resume on navigation in Wilkes-Barre.
Doing 109, 109, 109, 105. 109, 109, 105. 9, 109, 105.
Traffic 12 o'clock, 20 miles off direction, altitude
Draw surface.
200.
That's what that one's going to look like. A little helper over here. Yeah, Americans don't need a whole lot of excuses to drink, especially when sports are involved. Alright, so I'm going to try to draw out from there. Do something that approximates this edge into there. Be the same color as all this. Then it'll be officially connected. That's exciting.
Weather information convected segment 64 Eastern available for the Greensboro area. Thunderstorms moving from 280 at 15 tops to flight level 450.
So add a point there.
And available
Add
on
a
flight
point
service frequency.
there.
Greensboro,
Take this point
Lynchburg area,
here,
information
draw it
on
out
the
there.
flight
Take this point here, draw it out there. Select that one. Select that one. Ugh, missed. That one and that one. Splitsville. There we go. Now this is going to get a little wonky because I'm going to have to add a couple points here.
503 Greensboro.
I can't do all of these different nodes, so I'm going to just have to pull into this one.
Thank you.
It's Sun Country 8294. You can plan on a base
Something
to
similar to
about
that.
6 mile final. I'll have you direct Heavid in about 1 mile.
Thank you.
Have a November 50 Tango, traffic 12 o'clock to 10 miles, opposite direction, altitude indicates 4,000.
Okay, we'll be looking forward for 5 to 10 minutes.
Envoy 3503.
It's obviously
report
not
Greensboro,
close to what you want it to look like, so we're going to just pull it down there.
Airport in sight, Envoy 3503.
Envoy 3503, clear
Some
visual
rough
approach, runway
nodes
23
here.
Right. Contact tower 19-1. Have a great day.
November 50 Tango, amend to altitude, descend and maintain
Posture.
3,300.
It's posture.
Confirm it's going to be runway 23 right, correct?
Yes, sir. 23 right. The left side's closed.
Ford, descend and maintain 6,000, turn right, direct headed, vector's final approach course.
Maintain 6,000 and direct headed to country 8294.
Copy properties. Paste properties. Inspector, and see if you can see the sort of color differences that we're going to get here. 3 different colors happening. So we get this lighter color and then the darker color here, and then like a bluish color on that one. Very different surfaces, which will look pretty nice, I think, when it's all said and done. You got the difference in grains here.
November 50 Tango 11
Give
miles.
it the old save.
Maintain 3,300.
Alright, now I can get right in on top of these guys.
Cleared RNAV runway 22 left approach to Stanley County Airport.
Another one here.
Greensboro Approach, good evening, Skyhawk 1957.
And last calling approach taken, please.
This is Skyhawk 1957, approximately 20 miles to the southeast of the field at 4,300 feet. Just wanted to let you know that I was going to be transitioning to south, and I was wondering if it was okay if I dipped into your airspace a little bit.
Hey, what was the aircraft type again?
I can take picture.
Oasis 11, contact approach 126.6. Have a great day.
Approach, good afternoon, Oasis 11, flight up to level 5,500.
Oasis 11 Greensboro approach, Greensboro altitude 29904, traffic 12 o'clock, 14 miles, northwest bound, is Boeing 737 descending out of 7,700 for 6,000.
Oasis 11 is searching.
Is searching.
November 1957, squawk 0162.
0162.
Yeah, this thing's getting chunky monkey here. It is starting to really sort of stutter,
Traffic 12 o'clock and 3 miles.
which usually happens after a long-ish session.
Down to 4,000.
But we're almost done, guys. We're getting there.
Sun Country 8294, traffic.
Alright, so
11
select this
o'clock,
one.
10 miles at southeastbound 5,500, a flight of 2 Ospreys. Contact approach 124.35.
2435, we're looking for those Ospreys, Sun Country 8294. Approach 1957 has the traffic in sight, no factor.
If I add a
November
point here,
1957,
okay, that's the
roger.
direction we're working in.
Approach Oasis 11, I've got that traffic in sight, no factor.
Oasis 11, roger.
Nice dark ring around it there.
Approach Sun Country 8294, 6,000 feet of traffic off our left side.
Sun Country 8294, Greensboro, descend and maintain 3,000.
Then I maintain 3,000, Sun Country 8294.
Those Ospreys look cool, don't they?
And approach, just to let you know, for 1957, my final destination is Kilo India November Tango Airport.
Kilo India November Tango. I love when pilots act as if you've never heard of the airport that's not even 10 miles away from your main airport before.
For MPAs. And fly heading into
Winston-Salem Airport, you mean?
vectors for the final approach course.
Kilo Indian November
And
Tango.
around,
Usually when people give you the identifiers, it's like someplace really far away that you might not know the name of, but you tell us the place that's like six miles away from our airport. Come on. definitely get used to working some of the same airplanes all the time. Same guys. That's what it's like when you have a flight school.
Contact at VFR climb approved.
Alpha contact Atlanta Center 125.15. Good day.
25.50, 1935, station.
Tower 126.27. Good day.
Sun Country 8294, Greensboro Airport, off your left side and 8 miles.
What can be really funny is how long it takes some of the trainees to realize that it's the same airplanes every day.
Right, trap your phones and Embraer at about 4.5 mile final, indicating 150 knots. Contact tower.
VFR out of below 5,000.
Like, wait, you mean some of these airplanes go out of this airport several times a day? Yeah.
Greensboro Approach, did you want Flint 32 to go over to Charlotte?
Flint 32, contact Charlotte Approach 128.32, altitude your discretion.
Plane 32, altitude my discretion, Flint 32, good day.
Area of moderate precip between 11 and 10 o'clock. In 8 miles, extending for about 10 miles along your route of flight.
Morris, climb maintain 5,000, clear to Charlie Alpha Echo Airport as filed. Expect 10,000 in 10 minutes.
Cleared as filed to Charlie Alpha Echo, 5,000 and 10,000 in...
Charlie Alpha Echo, Columbia, South Carolina.
This 11, contact Raleigh Approach 132.35 today.
Pretty popular destination for guys in our airspace.
November 1957, turn left heading. Okay, disregard. Just continue that heading.
She talked herself out of something.
November 1957, descend maintain 3,500.
One of the things you need to know as a air traffic controller, especially a radar controller, is you can get talked into a lot of things, not just by airplanes. Like airplanes might try to talk you into doing something that you really shouldn't be doing, but also your coworkers. There's a lot of people who are always kind of paying attention. We do a really good job of paying attention to detail, and when we don't have a ton going on in our own airspace, we pay attention to what's going on in other people's airspaces. So and it's helpful. I mean, there's plenty of times where guys sitting next to us who are watching our stuff will point stuff out that we're not looking at when we're busy. So it's not a bad thing by any means, but you get a lot of backseat drivers, let's say, who are very eager to chime in and say they think you're doing something wrong, or they think you should do it this way or whatever. So you can get talked into doing something that wasn't according to your plan, that maybe you're not 100%, you don't understand it 100%, or why you would want to do it or how to execute it. And next thing you know, you get yourself in some serious trouble, because you get to a point where you need to choose you need to do something, and you're not working your plan, you're working somebody else's plan. So you have no idea where to go. When something needs done, you just don't know what to do. So that's something we try to avoid, especially in training. Just make sure once the what we call developmentals, or the trainee, I guess you'd say, once they get to a certain point, they really need to be developing their own plans and seeing their plans out. And it's kind of our job as trainers to sit back and not tell them their plan is wrong per se, but if they start to get into trouble, excuse me, wow, to abandon, adjust their plan, and but otherwise just let them play it out and let them see if it's not perfect. If it didn't work out the way they thought it would, well, do something different the next time. That's a plan that maybe doesn't work so great in that situation. But the tough thing the thing that I struggle with as a trainer is I have a certain way that I like to work traffic, and it's not the same way that anybody else likes to work traffic. Everybody does it different. So having somebody kind of like you have a standard that you're used to operating airplanes at. Mine just happens to be one where I try not to waste it. I try not to make aircraft fly extra flying miles if I can help it. you know, because of something that I did, or if I can give them shortcuts, I try to. Our airspace is not super busy. We have the opportunity to do some things that takes guys off of what might be considered standard. So as a result of that, it becomes a little bit more of an art. You know, there's a little bit more of a painting type of thing going on, where you're kind of adding your own characteristics and sort of your own flavor to the way that the traffic operates in your airspace. But anyway, so a trainee will come along, and if I'm training somebody, like I said, I try not to make them fly extra miles. I see a trainee that's good, that their plan includes taking somebody out a lot of extra miles, that I see it, that's when I start talking. Like, dude, I'm not just going to let you make that guy fly an extra 10 miles just because your plan was different than mine, you know? Like, your plan stunk, and I'm not going to make the airplane pay for that. That's how I kind of look at it sometimes. It's tough. I mean, it's tough on trainees because they get told that they're doing something wrong, which sometimes they are, but I mean, at the end of the day, the trainer is the one that's responsible for the position. It's their ticket, so to speak, on the line. So that's how we kind of how we say it, I guess. But when it's your ticket on the line, you want to make sure that the traffic is going a way that you feel comfortable with. And if your trainee and you don't see completely eye to eye often, then or often sort of clash about stuff like that, it can not be it's probably not really all that helpful for either party, because you're not comfortable with how the traffic's running in your airspace, so you're always riding your trainee. Your trainee's not doing a good job because of that, and the trainee's not necessarily learning because of that either. So it's a tough game to play, man. Training is rough, but we have to do it. We have to constantly, especially a facility like ours that's not the biggest. We're always constantly going to be having guys that once they certify are starting to looking to move up to higher level facilities. And I mean, everybody wishes there was more traffic at our airport. Everybody wishes the place they were at was the perfect place. So there's a certain amount of acceptance you have to do that the place you're at is the place you're at. And if you want to be at Atlanta, or you want to be at someplace in another state somewhere, I mean, you gotta learn what you can at the place you're at. Make the most of it. So, yeah, different motivations in the FAA. I've been here for 6.5 years almost now. And,
Number 157 reports, Winston-Salem Airport site.
Yeah, we've raised a family here, so all the kids were born here. Not necessarily
I'll cut you loose in about 5 miles, but thank you.
really looking all that forward to the possibility of just dropping everything and moving someplace else and starting over again.
127.8, see ya.
So it's not necessarily what we're planning on. Yeah, a lot of younger guys that we're training that are quite a bit younger than me. It's good. You need to have some youth in the facility. It keeps you on your toes, keeps the trainers working and learning, keeps the ideas fresh. Get too many people that are stuck in their ways, and it can get kind of detrimental to the operation after a while. People think they're never possibly doing things wrong, and over time you forget things, and you don't know what the heck you're doing right or wrong after a while, because you just think you've been doing things the same way for your entire career, and a lot of times you actually haven't. Alright, what are we saying? I've got to be done with this here soon. I got to refresh all this because it is chunking. I don't know if you guys can tell. It is not performing all that great right now. Alright. Do this round and then I think I'll call it quits for now. Didn't get to any lights today, so I wanted to finish these taxiways out. And I guess I didn't technically finish them out because there's still another part up there, but I need to get ready to eat.
811 Echo Tango, contact Raleigh.
Spend some time with the kids
Contact Winston Tower 123.75.
before we
See ya.
head to our show tonight.
2375 for 195.79.
Oh yeah, it's just snapping all over the place. I'll bet the frame rate's getting nice and chunky monkey. Let's see here. Options. Display FPS. It's got it up around 60. There's no way this is 60 FPS right now. Maybe it's just the scenery editor is getting kind of wonky. Yeah, that's not moving. Oh, see, it gets into 20s. Yeah, every time I move one of these points, it's like, no. Oh, man, it is grinding. Yeah. All right. There it is. Let's click save. Saved it is. Let's turn that FPS counter off. All right, let's draw that surface in. All right, let's see if the developer cam wants to work at all. Save. Oh, it is not responding much. Okay. Down here. Turn that surface on. Save. Inspector. Kilo Delta intersection looking good. I'd say that's pretty dang close. And we'll come back and do these little rounds the next time and throw some lights down. I think it's a good place to stop. Been about 2.5 hours. Gotten some work, quite a bit of work done here today. We've connected. So you can taxi at a full circle around this airport now, at least around the major part of the airport. You can get on the runway 23 left in several spots. Get on and off of runway 23 left at pretty much everywhere except down at the end. You can taxi into the ramp. There is no ramp. There are no ramps. You can't get onto this ramp yet. Didn't do the Juliets yet. There, Juliet 1 and Kilo 1 I didn't finish. Onto the signature FBO ramp, but we can get under the MRO, and we can get all the way from either direction onto runway 5 left, 23 right. All right, you're cooking. So we still have this whole side of the airport, which has to get done. I think that'll be pretty easy. Still a lot more rounds to do, and a couple of ramp areas. So several ramp areas, really. So, still more work to do, but we're moving right along. Let's try to set up the somewhat similar angle that I had before when we started. There we go. All right, so we got all of these. We finished off the Kilo Taxiway stuff and got Delta in there. We got all of these little Taxiways parts done here. All of this is done. So we got a big stuff in there done today. Whew. Moving right along. It doesn't go fast. This is one of the hardest parts, I think, is doing these aprons, doing the taxiways, because of there's no straight lines involved. Taxiway lines are easier because you just follow follow the trace, and it just goes in a straight line. There's no curving, not a whole lot of curving involved with it or anything, so those are much easier. And putting lights in is just finding little dots and placing them. So that stuff will go by pretty quickly. Once we get to that, then you get to kind of skip a whole lot of ground every time you put another one in. So we're getting close. We are getting very close to being ready to at least have the surfaces done and publish the surfaces with lights and markings and whatnot. And from there, it'll be, I can actually put it in a sim and fly off of it, which is nice. Buildings will have to come after that. I might put the default buildings back in and the trees and stuff just to kind of have it look like an airport a little bit. We'll see. So we'll start with that, and we'll just gonna keep on moving on, keep on pushing on from here. So thank you for those that stopped in today. This will be available on my YouTube channel, and I'm sure plenty more people will take a look at it as we go. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all again very soon. Thanks for the people in the chat. See ya.
Flight level around 16,600 for 12,000 for you, Lake.
Camjet 881 Greensboro, altimeter 2994, and below 10, what is your airspeed?
Greensboro altimeter 29994, stay in tension.
About 240, 245.
Perfect, thank you.
Army Copter 293, roger, advise with the weather, Burlington, and did you want the ILS 6 Yankee or Zulu? Army Copter 293, roger, expect that. Army Copter 293, clear direct cackle, report the procedure, turn inbound. Charlotte,
For Camjet 881, you still want to snap 12,000?
yes, sir.
Alright, hopefully I don't go on too well.